Hi, welcome to Teen's Voice. Let's discuss teen anxiety skyrockets in 2026 and its issue and solution in 2026. Teen anxiety isn't just a buzzword, it's a full-blown epidemic ripping through the lives of millions of young people across the USA and Europe, with rates that have skyrocketed beyond pre-pandemic levels and shown no signs of slowing down. According to the latest World Health Organization data, about 1 in 7 adolescents globally battles a mental health disorder, with anxiety leading the pack at rates hovering around 9-10 for younger teens and climbing higher for older ones. But in Western nations, the numbers paint an even darker picture. Surveys reveal that roughly 20% of European kids report anxiety, depression, or emotional struggles, spiking to 25-30 in Eastern hotspots like Estonia, Lithuania, and Romania, while the USA sees diagnosed anxiety hitting 16.1% among 12 to 17-year-olds, a nearly 30% jump in recent years that refuses to budge. This isn't random. It's the perfect storm of social media addiction, academic burnout, economic dread, climate doom, and fractured real-world connections, all amplified by AI-driven uncertainties that make the future feel like a rigged game. In the USA, where individualism reigns and safety nets are thinner, teens grapple with intense pressures that feel uniquely brutal. Think relentless college admissions races fueled by sky-high tuition fears, part-time gigs that barely cover basics amid inflation, and the constant shadow of school shootings or political chaos that turns every news alert into a panic trigger. Average American teens now clock 4.8 hours daily on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, where the Surgeon General's warnings ring true. More than 3 hours doubles the risk of anxiety and depression, feeding a toxic comparison culture that leaves 77% of kids feeling inadequate about their bodies, grades, and social status. Girls bear the brunt, with 57% reporting persistent sadness or hopelessness, while LGBTQ+ youth hit nearly 70% distress levels, all while healthcare access remains a privilege rather than a right, with long waitlists and sky-high therapy costs, pushing many to suffer in silence. Over in Europe, the picture varies wildly by region, but shares the same digital poison. Western Europe and English-speaking countries mirror the USA's social media plunge, with the 2026 World Happiness Report spotlighting how heavy platform use has tanked well-being, especially for teenage girls, thanks to curated perfectionism and cyberbullying that invades every quiet moment. Yet Eastern Europe faces compounded hits from economic instability and post-pandemic isolation, while Nordic countries like Iceland, Norway, and Finland fare better at 12-14 anxiety rates due to stronger family support and school well-being programs, though even there, school pressure has surged, with 63% of 15-year-old girls feeling overwhelmed by exams and homework, up sharply since 2014, as family bonds weaken and ultra-processed foods, early smartphones, and low spirituality erode resilience. Common threads bind both continents: the lingering scars of COVID lockdowns that stunted social skills and amplified loneliness, geopolitical tensions from wars and polarization that make teens feel powerless in a crumbling world, and eco-anxiety that's no longer fringe. Kids everywhere hesitate to plan families or futures because climate reports scream catastrophe, turning everyday weather into a trigger for dread. AI job takeovers add another layer, with entry-level roles vanishing and gig economies promising flexibility but delivering burnout, leaving teens in both the USA and Europe questioning if hard work even matters anymore. The result? A generational mental health nosedive where anxiety isn't occasional worry, it's chronic. Physical racing hearts, sleepless nights, stomach knots, and isolating, often masked behind memes or endless scrolls that only deepen the hole. But here's the raw truth from the front lines of Teen's Voice. This skyrocket isn't inevitable doom, it's survivable if we arm ourselves with real strategies that cut through the noise and rebuild from the inside out. Start by reclaiming your nervous system with simple, daily anchors that actually work in 2026's chaotic reality. Build rock-solid routines, set non-negotiable sleep schedules, aim for 8-9 hours by ditching screens an hour before bed. Eat real food instead of ultra-processed junk that spikes mood crashes. And carve out 30 minutes of movement, whether it's a brisk walk, gym session, or even dancing in your room, because exercise isn't optional. It rewires your brain to release feel-good chemicals and slashes anxiety by up to 30% in studies. When panic hits, deploy breathing hacks like the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8, repeating until your body unclenches. This interrupts the fight or flight loop faster than any app. Adopt a growth mindset shift instead of spiraling into "I'm broken and this will never change." Remind yourself anxiety is a signal, not a sentence. Notice how it shows up in your body: butterflies, tight shoulders without judgment. Then reframe it as energy you can channel into small wins, like breaking overwhelming school tasks into bite-sized steps, or journaling 3 things you're grateful for to counter the doom scroll. Limit social media ruthlessly, set up timers to under 2 hours daily. Curate your feed to follow only uplifting voices, ditch the influencers peddling perfection, and experiment with digital detox weekends. Replace scrolls with real connections, like face-to-face hangs with friends or calling a trusted adult, because loneliness fuels 80% of this crisis, and in-person bonds are the antidote. Europe's Nordic success stories prove work. Seek help without shame. Therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) is gold standard for rewiring anxious thoughts, and in the USA, push for school counselors or low-cost apps. In Europe, lean on free national services or peer support groups that are more accessible in places like Scandinavia. Build your village. Talk openly with parents, siblings, or online teen communities that feel safe. Practice mindfulness apps for 5 minutes daily to train focus amid notifications, and channel activism into climate or social causes, if that lights you up, turning anxiety into purpose rather than paralysis. Parents and schools must step up to advocate for cell phone bans during class, more mental health days, and curricula that teach emotional literacy, because surviving 2026 means collective action, not solo suffering. Ultimately, teen anxiety's surge in the USA and Europe isn't a personal failure, it's a symptom of a world that's moved too fast without safeguarding its youngest. But you, as a teen in 2026, hold the power to survive and even thrive by starting small, staying consistent, and refusing to let the algorithms or uncertainties define you. Whether you're dodging college debt fears in America or exam hell in Europe, remember, resilience isn't born from perfection. It's forged in these daily battles, one breath, one connection, one boundary at a time. Your voice matters. Share your story, demand better systems, and know that brighter days aren't just possible. They're waiting for those bold enough to fight for them. If you like this video, please share and subscribe the channel for more informative videos.